I left my job and I sort of decided to come to Australia, but that didn't happen until June. Gathered the funds to get the robot because I'd had my eye on it since
Yeah, yeah.
January this year. So when I moved here, we basically kind of just took that leap of faith and we said, you know what, let's do it. Like whatever support says, we halve that as well. So we go like super, super conservative. And yeah, I think for us, that has been like the key thing in like achieving consistency.
And I'm just wondering real quick, what were you actually doing before trading and when did you actually start trading?
I had a full-time job up until February this year. I had started trading last year, December, but I was manual trading. So I've been following your sort of page and company for quite a while because I've had challenges passed as well for yourselves. So that's when I initially sort of came across Trader Pass. And then since December, I had a lot of failures, lost quite a few accounts. And then in February, I left my job and I sort of decided to come to Australia, but that didn't happen until June. So
Okay.
I moved to Australia and the aim was to sort of start looking for a job here. But we were sort of, so my husband and I, we were sort of in the process of trying to like gather the funds to get the robot because I'd had my eye on it since
Yeah, yeah.
January this year. So when I moved here, we basically kind of just took that leap of faith and we said, you know what, let's do it. And yeah, once we got it, we like the results were so quick. I didn't really need to get the job then. And yeah, basically then ever since we've just been trading, I just sort of manage the accounts while my husband does the day job. So it's been a pretty good arrangement.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. And when you were manual trading, were you profitable or did you only like reach profitability when you started using the robot?
I don't think I was very profitable. I wouldn't say I was on either extreme. I wasn't too profitable. I wasn't like losing every account, but I was sort of having a lot of ups and downs. There was no sort of consistency. So I do really well, and then it would only take a day to blow everything off. So in
Yeah.
that way, I did lose quite a bit of money. A few funded accounts, a couple personal accounts as well. So yeah, there was no consistency there, and then the consistency sort of started coming in when I got the robot.
hmm 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 And actually, out of curiosity, where did you find out about us? Was it like through Instagram,
I
Facebook?
think it was definitely Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I remember going to like Trader Pass's page and then to your Momofx page as well. And I was just sort of
Yeah.
looking through the reels, and yeah, top G, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. And were you actually like nervous signing up with us? Because I know a lot of people are like usually very nervous because they think it's like a scam or whatever. So what was
So
your?
to be fair, because I'd like literally like scoured your whole page and Trader Pass, I sort of
Okay.
like I had a lot of faith because I could see like sort of. So obviously I knew that you were. I could tell you were Muslim as well, and I could tell like your
Okay.
morals were in the right place. So I
100%.
think you did a reel about like is trading haram or
Yeah.
halal or whatnot. So I think that gave me a lot of confidence. I knew I was dealing with people that were really honest and sort of had their morals in the right place. But obviously I wasn't too worried about like scams necessarily, but I was worried about how quickly I'd start seeing results. Because
hmm
obviously my story is like very much like from zero to like a really decent place right now, you know. I didn't really have a lot of funding behind me or a lot of capital or any sort of like buffer kind of thing, you know. So that was my sort of primary concern. And I think it's panned out really well actually.
Amazing, amazing. When did you actually start using the robot? Was it like 2, 3 months ago?
Yeah, so we bought it on the 18th of June. So I literally started using it as soon as we got it.
Nice. And when was
Yeah,
the
but we
when was the
were
first time you seen some sort of result, or like when was your first withdrawal? How long did it take to see some?
I think we were on demo for about 2 weeks before we got our personal account, which was like a really small $500 account, and we sort of started growing that. And we had like a few withdrawals here and there, like really small, $100, 250. But I think the major withdrawal came when we got the funded account, and then
Okay.
we made a lot on the funded account, the HFT. We made like 4K. But obviously, we only got
Amazing.
1K because it is an HFT firm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it
but
is.
that was like a proper, yeah, that was the first proper withdrawal. But with a personal account, like we keep injecting and removing. So I don't have
Okay.
like proper like receipts for the personal one.
And like altogether, how much do you think you've made so far? Do you think you'd have at least covered the cost of the robot so far?
Oh yeah, 100%. We've definitely covered. So I don't know if you remember, even when we were buying the robot, we bought it on my credit card. And I told you to kind of split the payment because
Oh
like
yes, yeah,
most of it was covered by the credit card. So
yeah.
literally, it took us 3 months to pay back the credit card, but that's all done. And I think I wrote on the group as well. We had a few loans which we used the trading account to pay off as well. So In terms of how much we've made, it's difficult to put a finger on it, but I'd say to be very conservative, I'd say like 2-3K on the personal or 4K on the personal, but
Amazing.
funded account definitely a lot more. Funded account, so I just withdrew today for the second month. Hopefully that
Amazing.
goes well. I'll post a certificate if I get it. But
100%.
funded account we've made about 3K. So
Amazing.
we'll see how much we get.
Amazing, amazing. Glad to hear. That's the most important thing. I mean, like covering your initial investment. So after that, you're
Yeah,
essentially becoming risk-free. So regardless of
exactly.
what happens, at least you're risk-free now. So that's very, very good to
Exactly.
hear. And like delving into the robot a little deeper, is there any tips? Because obviously you've had some great, great success. And I mean, you have the QTS Pro tag in the Discord, so a lot of people come to you for advice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But is there any tips for using the robot that have helped you get the kind of the results that you're getting at the moment?
I think the main thing that I would say would be to like really like, because it's your like once you buy it, it's your robot. Like really like play around with it, like get to know the robot, what it does. Because it's easy to just like plug and play and just leave it. But then if you know like the ins and outs of the robot, you can kind of like adjust as and when. So for example, when we got the 24/7 robot, Asia one wasn't running. So it was completely up to us to, although support recommended not to run it. So we were doing it at our own risk, but because we'd learned the robot in and out, we
Hmm.
were kind of able to like, discuss when to sort of turn it on, when to turn it off, consolidating periods, how to identify those, even though support has given guidance on that now as well,
Hmm.
the quick ins and outs. So just like learning the robot really well. And also obviously following what support says, because a lot of people don't do that, and then some people really like hike up their lot sizes. That was the
Yeah,
main thing that we saw. So like whatever support says, we halve that as well. So we go like super conservative. And yeah, I think for us that has been like the key thing in like achieving consistency, because otherwise you just need one bad day, and if your lot sizes are really
exactly.
high, you could breach equity. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of the biggest problem with our robot is the fact that people see large win streaks. Sometimes it's like a month. There's
Yeah.
not a single losing day, 2 months, not a
Yeah.
single losing day. So people get too confident thinking it's just like a money printing system, and then they just
Exactly.
start gambling and stuff like that. So that's
Exactly.
definitely one dangerous aspect of it as well. And just last question, what's your future plan with this money that you're making? Is there what's your 6 month plan with the robot and the money that you're making with the robot?
Yeah, so I had seen this on your reel as well months ago when I was researching Trader Pass and your personal pages on Instagram. And this whole like prop firm idea of reaching $1 million in capital. And
Hmm.
that is basically the plan at the moment. So we've got two funded accounts now. We've got the HFT one and the funded next one, which we're in the process of passing, but kind of want to sort of build that portfolio, reach 1 million in capital. And then, like you said in your reel, even if you're earning like 1% of the 1 million, that's a solid 10K a month, right?
Hmm.
So the current 6 month plan is to basically stack up that funded account portfolio, basically.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No
Uh,
worries.